Sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things they simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
That brings us to this piece right here. And this piece. And this piece. They all go together as one trilogy. Now let's begin what this is all about. Okay, so here's the deal. I've done a lot of work on it. Like a lot. I've changed this section. I've made the buildings bigger. I've done the sky different. I've changed it. I've completely changed it. Now there's a lot of work that I need to do. So with my online class today, I'm going to be starting it. Okay, so I've added bits of wood in the places I wanted it to be, because this side's going to be mixed media because it's messy. I'm going to have a news sign there. I'm going to have, like, you know when you're driving and you're on a road trip and it says, you know, McDonald's 1K? I'm going to have like 1K written there or something like that. Very much bass, very much ignore it. But I have somebody smoking. I have somebody pointing up to the plane. I've done a little bit more on this. I've added a bit of wood here and a bit of wood here to say a single file line for the sheep. This side, I think that this side I'm very proud of, and I've done a lot more work than this side. So I'm going to focus on this today. So we're just going to ignore this section. I wanted you to see how much work I did do on it before I realized it didn't work. And that's what this is all about, realizing what works, what doesn't, changing it around, and that's what makes a good piece of art at the end of the day. We are here. We need to do things. And if you're one of the people that watched this video and seen me painting while dyeing my hair, shout out to you. Guys, I'm over it. I'm over painting. We're going to continue tomorrow. Okay, after drawing class, we're going to continue because yes, I've made progress, but it's so slow. And every time I look back at it, it's like I haven't made any difference. So it's really bothering me. We're going to go back at it tomorrow. Okay? Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. At this point, I was a little bit stressed. There was a lot of big details I needed to get in. And I don't think I had the time at this point. So I was, I was going through it. I was adding all the bits I needed to. Okay, so I'm starting to put the people in now. Deciding what they're going to wear, who they're going to be. And I think it's turning out. I really like how the people on the phones are turning out. Good. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the real deal. I've done a lot more on it, but this is an eyesore. It's not happening. It's not happening at all. So that brings us to the next day, where I was actually in my studio at school finishing off the two smaller canvases. Because I definitely realized that I was putting all of my energy into the main big one, but as it's a trilogy and the two small ones add depth into my actual concept, I needed to finish these in order to then finish the main one. So I put the depth in there, all the darks, contrasting with all the golds and the purples that I've added in there for shade. I really wanted this to feel whimsical on that side. This brings us to this piece right here. This essentially means if you don't follow who you are as a person and what you want and how to bring light in the way you personally need to bring light to the world, you will be lonely. You can't take any material possessions with you. And that's it. I gave him no identity and I made him naked and vulnerable. It needed to happen to get the message across of what propaganda does to your subconscious, your livelihood and your relationships. It's no good. And I wanted to show that. This was the final day of the gold leaf touches, I noticed there was a few gaps that I needed to fill. To be honest, I found this really therapeutic. Honestly, filming it and watching it back was also very therapeutic. Like, look, as I put it on, it gets stuck, and you press it in there. There's nothing more therapeutic than doing art like this, honestly. I feel like I'm going to put gold leaf on my next projects. I really loved the texture it gave, and I'm not normally a texture girly, and I really enjoyed this process. Now, I originally went into this thinking that I was going to practice my realism more, but that didn't work out the way that I wanted to, as all of these colours, it was really hard to portray realism with the bright colours that was originally my plan, so I just made it more 2D style, make less of a job for myself and more of a clear concept for the viewer to understand. I didn't want it to make it complicated because people already don't understand what propaganda actually does to them. It was really important to represent chakras in this. There is a spiritual component to what propaganda does. It's actually tapping into something in your brain and your soul that you actually are giving access to. I needed to show that it's a spiritual war as well. You have free will. Exercise it intentionally because your choices are being made for you, and I just don't want anyone to live a life like that. It's constricting. And you don't even realize that it is constricting. So I chose to do my concept on this because it's important to me, and I'm going to continue doing this concept in multiple different ways. So going back to technique a little bit more, I'm adding purple into the trees to have kind of like a aesthetic kind of a look. If you add certain colors together, it actually looks amazing. So I've done that throughout a lot of this. And I also want to note that that's exactly how propaganda works. They put certain colors, certain symbols together, and it makes you choose certain things over others. I'm using their techniques against them to show the public and educate the public. So yeah, take that, system. Last day to work on it now. It's about 4 p.m. and I'm getting the last couple of hours in on this as much as I can before tomorrow. And then they're hanging it on the wall. And you guys get to see that. Okay, so I had no idea how to do this aside from using these fisheye hooks and putting them on the back. I assumed they had like a hook on the wall or something, but it turns out that I was putting it against brick. So I just did the fisheye hooks like you're seeing me do here, putting holes in them beforehand, otherwise you will break your fingers. But that's what I'm doing here in my studio, just getting it ready before I take it downstairs and we hang it on wire that's there. And I don't know if you get it by now, but doing your inner work creates connection with others and yourself. Hey, and if you stayed this long, thank you so much. Rise above the system too, please and thank you.